19-year-old Chad Hedrick set for his semifinal heat in the men's 100 meters. His staunchest competition, Derek Paris, skating despite a broken left wrist. It's a field of four. In lane 1, 28-year-old Rodney Green. Perry in lane 2. He'll be next to Hedrick, who's in lane 3, and rounding out the field, the Australian Chris Luxton. And it's a fair start.
Chad Hedrick having to start behind the others because he was issued a false start. But notice Derek Para. He keeps his weight back and drives his knees right through.
Para in lane 2, Hedrick in lane 3, and Para wins it in a time of 11.17. The women's 100-meter semis are next. Heather Gunnan from Houston, Texas, one of the favorites. In lane 1 will be Georgia's Amy Morrill. Lane 2, the Australian Desley Hill. Gunnan in 3, Teresa Cliff in lane 4, and Kim Darnell in lane 5. And Gunnan out fast.
Heather Gunnan in lane 3. Nice tempo, really good leg speed, driving her legs through.
Desley Hill on the left of your screen in lane 2 trying to close in, but it's Heather Gunnan. Her time, 12.43. And the ultimate inline challenge off to a fast start. Today, the National Point Circuit Inline Racing Series comes to Orlando. Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Elmley, along with two-time Olympic medalist and former national inline champion Eric Flame. And it is race day here at Universal Studios in Florida. The first major event for the best inline skaters in the world. Today, competition at 100 meters and also 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles.
Unlike track and field, where the competitors specialize in the events, the inline races here today are very versatile. Skaters such as Derek Para can win 100 meters just as easily as 10,000.
And these races, by no means individual pursuits, teamwork very much a part of things, Eric.
The skaters today are going to be going out with a pre-planned strategy. They're going to be braking, blocking, and chasing, trying to get their teammate across the line first.
Now there's another event which will surely test the skaters' versatility. It's something called the last man out. And for more on that event, here's our colleague, Lisa Feinberg.
Mike, Eric, the last man out is perhaps the most interesting of the competitions here at Universal Studios. The last man out is like the musical chairs of inline racing. 16 men will qualify for 15 spots. Now that means they're going to take 15 laps. And at the end of each lap, the guy in last place is eliminated. It's all going to come down to 2 men. Now, at the finish, if it's a photo finish, don't watch for the first body part to cross the finish. It's the last wheel of the last skate.
And on this day, skates are the only way to travel. The Ultimate Inline Challenge is a by-invitation-only competition. The best inline racers in the world are here to test themselves and their teams at a variety of distances. Streamlined athletes built for speed and endurance. The aggressive skaters have come as well. Their game is one of daring, acrobatics to half-pipe and on the street. Showmanship is also part of the package. We'll see who can land the biggest trick, get the highest air, and clear the loftiest height. It's go big or don't go at all. Coming up, more of the men's 100 meters.
Ultimate Inline Challenge is presented by Rollerblade. No one outskates us. And in part by Capri Sun, Liquid Cool. By Bell Helmet, courage for your head. And by Snickers, hungry? Why wait?
And early we saw Derek Para win his 100-meter semi-final heat with a cast on his left wrist. Earlier, he told our Lisa Feinberg about how the cast affects his racing.
Derek, he's skating with a broken wrist, freshly broken. Is that affecting you, especially at the start of the sprint?
Yeah, it affected somewhat. It's a little extra weight added on one side of my body that I'm not used to. So when I tend to take off on the start and I'm in my full sprint, it throws my body position off a little bit, but I'm trying to compensate for it and not try to swing quite as far as I usually would.
So Para is in the finals, and here is our next heat. Elena Simon, Jonathan Webster in 1. The favorite, Tony Muse in 2. Scott Hyatt, Chad Smith, and BJ Sexton in lanes 3, 4, and 5, and they're off. And Muse in lane 2 getting the big jump, Eric.
Tony Muse with a very nice low position. Notice how he drives his legs right out to the side, tempo all the way across the line.
He holds off the charge of Jonathan Webster in lane 1 and wins it in a time of 11.15. Our next semifinal heat in the man to watch in lane 2, Casey Boudier, skating for Team Geo Rollerblade.
Casey is known as a very strong starter. He was on the ice all winter long. Oh, and he had a stumble there. Looks like he's having some trouble with the transition, but he recovered nicely.
Indeed, he regains the lead at 75 meters, now trying to hold off the challenge of Jason Sepulveda in the purple in lane 2. And indeed he does, winning it in 11.27 seconds.
Now, your start is a little different from the other men. You use more of an ice speed skating start. Why is that?
Well, actually on the ice I do a down start like a lot of the guys, but I don't really feel like it's the fastest thing out here on inlines because you can't really push hard with your first couple steps. I mean, for me anyhow. So I think it's better to start up like an ice speed skater.
Indeed, there are many parallels between inline racing and ice speed skating. Its evolution is a fascinating one, and it's been around longer than you think.
The origins of inline skating came from those athletes who used it as a crossover training for hockey, skiing, and ice skating. It's kind of funny that people don't understand that inline skates were invented before roller skates, but they took a while to catch up with today and the actual use of inline skates. The evolution of inline racing pretty much started in Holland. The ice racers would train on inline skates in the summertime, and then we found out that inline skates were faster. The popularity caught on to the roller skaters. So the indoor roller skaters who were competing in roller skating then took to inlines and indoor skating. So all of a sudden this whole new sport was born. Well, the rules are adapted and mixed from inline roller skating, some of the rules we've looked at, some of the outdoor sports, track and field, a mixture of cycling events for criterium championships. So the formats that we adapt from other sports and we look at, and we also look at the USOC, the United States Olympic Committee, and some of the accredited programs that they sanction. There's a couple of different governing bodies. There's USAC and there's USA Inline Racing, which is a branch of the IISA, the International Inline Skating Association. So the tactics for inline racing, I mean, it's similar to cycling, but it's on a bike. You're only working with, maybe 2 square feet, side by side, so you can move up a lot easier. Inline skating, you have to pull totally out of a draft and move up, totally on your own power instead of slingshotting off people and just moving up a few spots. There's a lot of breakaways in inline skating, as in cycling. The finesse is all there. I mean, hopefully, inline skating will be just as big as cycling in the next few years. Racing isn't about just going fast and being in a pack and then coming down to the finish line. Inline racing is so much more exciting. When you're going around a corner and your skates are shaking and you're sweating and your legs are throbbing, inline skating is so exciting and so much more than other sports that people don't understand.
Hi, how are you? The media attention is helping out a ton. I think that, more and more sponsors are getting involved and seeing how exciting the racing is and seeing that the athletes are really serious about what they're doing, but it's not, it's not just a bunch of people skating around.
We're looking for Olympic recognition at some point in time. We understand it's going to take a long time. It's 1996. We're looking to do a 2004 for Olympic medal status. We have to take care of the sport and grow it like it's our very own and put it into the Olympics where it belongs.
And so far, great strides have been made. All right, the last of our semifinal heats here in the men's 100 meters, and 2 men to watch. Dante Muse in lane 1, and in lane 2, 23-year-old Derek Downing skating for Team Hyper. And last year, Eric, he was a big hit at the Extreme Games. You were there.
Downing, he's very close. Rinderholm and Downing coming down. Savina trying to come on strong. Chad Smith is right there. Your top 4 coming at you. And they're really letting it all hang out all the way through the finish. And Derek Downing, what a race.
Derek Downing proving that he's a very daring skater and also a good start.
But it's Dante Muse on the left of your screen in lane 1 who gets off to the better start.
It looks as if Dante is drifting into Derek's lane, but look at Derek's leg speed.
You can see Dante pulling up. He's disqualified. Derek Downing wins it, burning up the asphalt at a time of 11.06. So he is going on to the finals, and he will be joined by this talented trio, Tony Muse, Derek Pera, and Casey Boudier. Should be a great race, and it's next on the Ultimate Inline Challenge. The Ultimate Inline Challenge presented by Rollerblade. We are set now for the men's 100 meters. A look at the final 4. In lane 1, 28-year-old Tony Muse. Lane 2, it'll be the U.S. Olympian Casey Boudier. Derek Downing had the fastest time in the semifinals. Remember, in lane 4, Derek Pera, he is skating with a cast on his left wrist. He broke his navicular bone 3 weeks ago. It's a fair start.
The start is so crucial, and look at Derek Downing exploding. That leg speed is just incredible.
Trying to hold off Tony Muse in lane 1 at the left of your screen. Here comes Double V. He seals the deal in a time of 11.12.
Okay. Casey Boudier, due to a false start, having to line up behind the other racers. Look at Derek Downing, his leg speed, just turning it over and pulling away from the other racers. He makes it look easy.
At least it's with the champ at the finish line.
Derek, awesome race. What's it like to beat the guy who's considered the fastest man in the world?
That's the first time I actually thought of racing in 100 meters, and it's not really my specialty, but I'll tell you what, it was one heck of a race. I enjoyed it.
The final results of the men's 100 meters here at the Ultimate Inline Challenge presented by Rollerblade. Derek Downing wins it by 0.14 of a second. We move now to the women's 10-kilometer race, 6.2 miles, 20 laps. Women poised at the start line and ready to go. Let's look at the field. Some women worth noting for Team Hyper, Cheryl Lozelle. For Team Geo Rollerblade, Teresa Cliff. Outstanding skaters. As is Deb Beveridge, the Australian from Team Kryptonic. We'll also keep an eye on these skaters, Diane Pantel, Marcia Yeager, and Nancy Markham. Your mark. Attention. Once again, 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers, 20 laps. And as the skaters approach the first turn, Eric Lang gives us the nuances of this course.
The first turn is tighter than 90 degrees. The proper line is crucial. Too tight, your wheels will slide out. Too wide, you'll get past. The 8th Avenue straightaway is the longest on the course. The skater wants to move up. This is where they have to do it. The final corner and S-curve are the tightest part of the race. You want to be in the lead because the finish line is right around the corner.
And over 5 minutes into the race, and the women in lap number 7 here.
Strategy is a big part of this race. The skaters don't want to take the lead necessarily because you conserve a lot of energy by sitting in the pack. Then again, you don't want to be in the back of the pack because if something happens, you're caught.
Team Kryptonic's Deb Beveridge in the lead at the moment. Her disadvantage, she only has one other teammate in the field, Eric.
The stronger teams, such as Geo Rollerblade, have 4 or even 5 skaters. That's a lot of resources to work with. You can send skaters out on breaks and even chase other skaters down. When the skaters hear the bell, that signifies a premium lap. It's a chance for them to pick up some extra cash. When the lap is over, the first skater across the line wins the money. field, it looks like Vicky King of Team Ultimate with Heather Gunnan on her tail and Jennifer Rodriguez of Team Geo Rollerblade.
Down the 8th Avenue straightaway they come, and indeed the pace is picking up a bit. Heather Gunnan from Speed Skating Times now in the lead.
They're really accelerating coming out of this turn because as soon as you come out of the S-curves, the finish line is right there in front of you.
And now it's Gunnan and Rodriguez breaking away.
Now they've got a lead on the rest of the pack. If they were smart, they could work together and maintain that lead. You've got a couple of choices. The skaters can either work together or they can say, well, we'll just take it easy and let the rest of the pack catch up to us.
And we'll be back with the conclusion of the women's 10-kilometer race as the men discuss their strategy for their 6.2-mile journey.
Step, but you can't really...
Yeah, I can't power.
Don't roll through them. Don't roll through them?
Back here at Universal Studios, Florida, and the women trying to summon as much stamina as they can to finish this 10-kilometer race. Lap 16 now, over 13 minutes into the race.
Skaters are really starting to push the pace. Looks like Vicky King followed by Jennifer Rodriguez.
And now we're really going to see the strategy develop, a breakaway area.
That's right, the skaters are trying to break away from the pack. If they can get a big enough lead, they're going to win this race. But Vicky King and Jennifer Rodriguez have expended a lot of energy in that cream sprint. So they're relaxing a little bit here. They all want to be fresh for that finish. Teams are starting to gather up their top skaters. Rollerblade is going to move to the front here, it looks like. We've got Jennifer Rodriguez, Heather Lacayo, Teresa Cliff, and Desley Hill, all in the front. Now, if Rollerblade was smart, they'd send a skater off the front and have the teammates blocking the rest of the pack.
Geo Rollerblade in the yellow and black racing suits. Team Hyper in the red, white, and blue, the stars and stripes. And this is going to get interesting.
The race is about to explode wide open here. We've got Rollerblade in the front, Ultimate, Hyper. They're all wanting to be maybe second or third place. You don't want to lead because it's easy to come around somebody if they're leading in the sprint. You can get a good draft and then come around the outside. They're all setting up. We're going to go after this corner.
That's Jennifer Rodriguez out front.
Looks like Julie Grant got her on the inside and is going to come across the line first.
Julie skating for Team Ultimate, a one-woman show here.
And that sounded like the bell. I think there's 2 laps to go in this race. Julie Grant doesn't look like she's sure. She raised her hand and now she's picking up the speed. And Jennifer Rodriguez and the rest of the skaters aren't going to let her get away. Teams are definitely taking shape. You can see the Hyper skaters in positions 3 and 4. Geo Rollerblade up near the front, and Julie Brandt leading from Team Ultimate.
Question is, can Julie hold them off? Here's the official bell lap, the final lap here in this women's 10K race.
Cheryl Lizzell has moved right into second place, and when they come out of this corner, they're going to be on the longest straightaway of the course. So it's important to move up here if you're going to want to cross the line first.
For a moment, Cheryl drafting off of Julie Brandt. Julie looking back over her shoulder.
And here's Teresa Cliff moving up the inside, getting in front of Cheryl Lizzell.
Right now, it's Grant, Cliff, Lizzell, 1, 2, and 3. As they head for home, this is going to be extremely close. Cliff now has taken the lead, dipping in under Julie Brandt.
And there's Teresa Cliff in front. Looks like she blocked out Charlotte Zell of Hyper.
Teresa Cliff crosses the finish line in a time of 17 minutes, 19.9 seconds. A narrow win over Julie Brandt and Cheryl Zell.
Here we see Teresa Cliff closest to the curb, just getting in front of Brandt and able to hold on for the win. Boy, they were all tight there at the finish line, but you can see Cliff is giving it everything she had.
Teresa, that was an awesome effort. Every time someone tried to press the pace, you were right there. Was that part of your plan from the beginning?
Well, the plan was that Jen was going to win the frames, try to win all the frames, and I was the designated winner, and I was just hoping to hang on for the win.
Now, Dean, did you pick Teresa from the start as the winner of this race, or did it just pan out that way?
Yeah, she was picked from the start. Yesterday, our strategy was a little scattered. Today, we wanted to be a lot more specific with the jobs that the skaters had to do.
A 1-2 finish for Geo Rollerblade and Team Hyper as the heated rivalry continues. Inline Racing's version of the Cowboys 49ers. A lot at stake every time they meet.
Geo Rollerblade and Hyper are right now two rivals.
Hyper is a wheel manufacturer versus an inline skating manufacturer. So we're generally going to be a smaller team with less resources to field a team with. We've got 6 guys, maybe only got 3. And so right now we're in 2-1. This is a disadvantage because we can't cover the breakaways sometimes because there are 6 guys that obviously have a little bit more endurance. Sometimes the 5 or 6 guys don't work well together. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But when there's 2 guys, you know what you have to do. You have to attack everything. We've got 3 guys that all 3 can possibly win the race. So they compete and they work together and communicate with each other. These advantages of being in Geo, they are quite obvious. We're there early, we look at the course, we're talking to the promoters, looking at the big picture of inline skating. We're not just at a race, we're there to promote the sport.
Geo Rollerblade is really big, and I think they go to a lot more races. They spend more time going to, mostly every NPC race. To watch races, everyone gets along really great. We have a team coach, Jim James is hired this year to coach us and to travel with us.
We don't really have a coach like Geo Rollerblade does, and those 2 guys help out the girls when it comes to playing.
Hyper, of course, is a newer team. For the females, especially, this is the first year they've had a girls team. So we're excited about it.
It's kind of a positive, a friendly competition between friends off the track. And when you get on the track, it's business and it's racing.
The men now set to test themselves at 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles. Individual and team reputation once again on the line in this 20-lap race. And like the women's competition, Hyper and Geo Rollerblade once again fielding strong teams. Derek Downing and Derek Terra, you might remember, finished 1-2 in the men's 100-meter race. And the trio of Tony Muse, Chris Luxton, and Jonathan Trevina from Team Kryptonics could contend as well. And we've got a major traffic jam at the start line, a mass of humanity. Derek, how difficult is it to race when there's this many skaters on the course?
Well, when you've got this many skaters, you do not want to be in the back of the pack. You've got to move up to the front. There's a lot of strategy involved and a lot of teamwork that's planned out beforehand.
We saw that in the women's 10K. Lisa spoke with Hyper manager Jim Wilkerson to see what they had up their sleeve.
Now, as team manager, do you actually pick someone today to come out and win this? Is anyone particularly feeling good?
You bet. Today was Chad Hedrick's day to be picked, so we're going to try and go out with Chad, and Derek's going to help him out, as well as Jonathan. So we're going to go and make a strong show today.
Let's see if Jim's prediction holds up. Pretty remarkable setting here, Eric. Through the streets of Universal Studios and the mock-ups of Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, Manhattan, and Beverly Hills.
I got a chance to speak with some of the racers, and they really like this course. It's tight, it's fast, and they've got a lot of spectators cheering them on. Now, Rollerblade was the largest team. I would expect them to be dictating a lot of the paces and the breaks in this race today. See Scott Hyatt up the front, yellow and black racing suit. There's Derek
there going by. Now they pick up the pace a bit.
You can see as the speed increases, the racers really get strung out. Instead of being in a condensed pack, it's a much longer field, and it's harder to move up. Looks like Gio Rollerblade is up the front, and they're starting to send out Derek Parra. I would expect that Gio Rollerblade is going to have Parra be their man for this race. Here they send off Casey Boudier, but Derek Downing is staying right with him. Team Hyper definitely does not want to let anyone from Gio Rollerblade get away.
There's the bell, signifying a premium lap.
Now, I don't know how concerned Casey or Derek is about the creams. You can see here they really don't care much about the creams. Casey is like, okay, Derek, if you want to take the lead and try and get away, go ahead.
Still a long way to go, and we'll have more of the men's 10K after this. Taking part in today's coverage and giving us some great-looking aerial shots like that one. Lap 13, the men have been going at it for over 9 minutes here as the lead continues to change hands.
We've got another attack from Team Gio Rollerblade. Norm Kirby is off the front, and Hyper saying, oh, we're not going to let him get too far away, so they're the ones that are pressing and bringing the pack back up to the leader. It can be a long, lonely race when you're out there by yourself. You can see Norm Kirby starting to fatigue a little bit there.
But Eric, isn't that by design?
Absolutely. Norm Kirby is a bit of a sacrificial lamb. They send him out, they say, you just go kill yourself. We're going to try and get Hyper to work hard to chase you down. Then they'll probably send somebody else out after Kirby. So here we see Gio Rollerblade again. As soon as one skater gets caught, they'll send the next guy out. So this is all part of the master plan.
Lap 15 now.
And what sometimes happens is that there's a group of 2 or 3 skaters that get away. They can work together and they actually take turns with the lead.
And once again, like the women's 10K, a duel between Team Gio Rollerblade and Team Hyper.
Chad Hederick, the strongest skater on the Hyper team now, has moved into second. You know, what Chad's thinking is, well, Michael Cole's opened up a bit of a gap. He's a strong skater, so I'm going to bridge up to him. And if I can get away, I think I can take him in the sprint. You see Derek Parra now moving up the inside. They just sounded the bell, so he wants to win this cream, I think.
Lap 16. More to come.
Parra, Hederick. You can see the strength of the field now is moving up to the front. Here goes Scott Hyatt of Rollerblade.
So in 3 laps, they have sent 3 different racers on brakes.
That's all part of the team strategy. They're trying to save their strongest skaters for the end.
If you haven't seen this kind of racing before, the athletes aren't skating on the conventional inline skates. Theirs are specially designed, as Eric explained.
This is your traditional inline skate. It's big and bulky with only 4 wheels. This is an inline racing skate, a low-cut boot, high-precision bearings, rigid frame, and big wheels. It's built for speed with 5 wheels for a stronger push and a longer glide.
Speaking of big wheels, the man with the cast on his hand, Derek Parra, he finished second in the 100-meter race. He is an anaerobic monster. He's got the lead right now for Team Gio Rollerblade.
Parra, the strongest skater on the Rollerblade team, and Chad Hederick, the best from Hyper. The race is really starting to wind down here.
Chad Smith in third, skating as an independent.
We really haven't seen much of Chad Smith. He's been holding in, he's got a lot of energy left. And Team Rollerblade has been sending skaters out on flyers all day. So we'll just have to see whose strategy is going to pay off here.
Once again, Geo Rollerblade in the yellow and black racing skins. Team Hyper, the red, white, and blue, the stars and stripes.
You can see them all lining up, getting ready for the last few laps. Geo Rollerblade and Hyper, right where they want to be.
And this is where a team manager finds out if his race plan is right on or if he's miscalculated. 2 laps to go. The leader right now, the independent skater, Chad Smith, but he's about to get hammered.
Team Hyper, I see them moving up. Jonathan Webster right in behind Matero of Geo Rollerblade. This is an important straightaway here. When they come out of the next turn, there'll be 1 lap to go. And Webster steps in front of the Rollerblade team and lets his other teammates in. That was a big move right there because you've got Team Hyper, 2, 3, 4.
And the bell out. 1 more to go.
And here go Hedrick and Downing right on the inside, setting up that corner big and wide. And they're going to come out with a lot of speed here. Oh, it's going to be difficult to catch them. Geo Rollerblade has fallen asleep. They're in the back. Hedrick and Downing laying down the hammer.
Team manager Jim Wilterding said Hyper had planned on Chad Hedrick winning this thing, and it looks like that's going to be the case. Hedrick and Derek Downing 1-2.
Geo Rollerblade expended too much energy throughout this race, and it cost them the victory.
Big win, not just for Chad, but also Team Hyper.
They set it up so beautifully. They had a great strategy. They got 3 of their skaters to the front, 1 to block, and 2 to make the pass. Hedrick and Downing, very strong all the way across the finish line.
And it was payback time for Team Hyper in the women's 10K. Geo Rollerblade won it. The men's race belongs to Team Hyper. This is with a very excited team manager.
Jim, prior to the race, you called it. You said Chad was your man today, and he won. Did the race evolve as you thought it would?
You bet, you bet. We had a rough day yesterday with some equipment problems with Chad, and today we got the guys together. We had a long talk last night, and we went out today, and we did the job we had to do.
Now, Chad, you've won many races, many world championships. Can you give us some perspective on this race?
Well, basically, this is the biggest outdoor race as far as not only the money, but the crowd as well. There's 15,000 people coming through Universal Studios every day, and it's real fun to skate in front of a crowd like this.
Up next, women's 100-meter final.
The Ultimate Inline Challenge presented by Rollerblade continues here in Florida with the women's 100-meter race. This is a semi-final heat. Our field of 5 pays special attention to lane 1 and 2, Jennifer Rodriguez and Gypsy Tidwell. Lane 1 and 2 to the left of your screen. It's a fair start.
Gypsy Tidwell in the green racing skin. Not a lot of leg speed, but a ton of power. She just walks away from these girls.
Drive. She coasts home. And her time, 12.46. She moves on to the final. Our next heat, and the featured skater Cheryl Lizelle in lane 2, skating for Team Hyper. The possessor of 6 world championships and 15 indoor national championships. Lane 2 to the left of your screen.
Julie Brandt in the center of your screen, racing for Team Ultimate, a very strong sprinter. Looks like she could take this race.
But here comes Giselle. What happened there?
It looked like Julie Brandt came out of her lane. Even though she crossed the finish line first, she's going to be disqualified. You can see here in the middle lane, Julie Brandt crossing over and out of her lane.
Those big, powerful strides, maybe a little too powerful. Cheryl Lizelle from Team Hyper getting a gift. She's moving on to the final. First inline, babies love inline. Why not? It's the only way to skate.
This ultimate inline challenge tip is presented by Rollerblade.
Hi, my name is Heather Lacayo. I've been inline skating since 1991. I skate for a variety of reasons, but the biggest one is that it's a lot of fun. But I bet you didn't know there are a lot of facts about inline skating as far as fitness that can help you out a lot. Let me tell you about them. Inline skating can give you a better aerobic workout than either cycling or running, and you can actually burn more calories, too. In fact, inline skating can give you a better overall workout than you might ever think. So, if you're not skating, give it a try. And if you're skating already, make it a bigger part of your cross-training program. So remember, when you're out there skating, always skate safe and wear the gear. And that's the inside line on inline. I'll see you at the finish line.
Hopefully in first place, Heather Lacayo, a great ambassador for the sport of inline skating. She is in lane 5. Her biggest threat coming from lane 2, Vicky King, a double gold medalist in the 1995 Pan American Games. Let's see the response to the gun first. Looked like it might have been a false start, Eric. Vicky King anticipating the gun, but the start didn't call her back. She looked like she jumped to me. Still getting those nice strides out to the side and coming across that finish line. Vicky King skating for Team Ultimate. Her time 12.47. And she joins the final 4. Gunn, Tidwell, King, and Ezell. And based on their times, it should be a great race. Coming up next, the women's 100-meter final. And still ahead, a race called Last Man Out. Showdown time here for the women at Universal Studios Florida in the Ultimate Inline Challenge presented by Rollerblade. Cheryl Ezell, Heather Gunn, and Vicky King, and Gypsy Tidwell ready to go in the women's 100-meter final. Ezell, 17 years old from Houston, Texas in lane 1. Heather Gunn in lane 2. Also from Houston, Vicky King from Cheyenne, Wyoming. And Gypsy Tidwell, 1991. She was the national champion at 10K. Let's see what she can do here in the sprint race. Heather Gunn with a good start. Looks like she got off first. But Gypsy Tidwell in the green uniform to the right of your screen. Very long, powerful strokes coming across first. And Eric, she blisters the pavement in a time of 12.40. Another look from the blockbuster video blimp. Gypsy Tidwell, arms pumping. She is power personified. She's with Lisa at the finish line.
Gypsy, you seem to let up a little bit at the end. Did you know it was over at that point?
Well, there's just a point in a race when you know it's over, and about 10 feet to the line, when I looked behind me and they were about 5 feet back, I knew. So I had to put my hands up and have the victory lap.
Gypsy Tidwell, 10K champion in 1991, adds a 100-meter title to her resume. Nicely done. On we go. The event we call Last Man Out here on the Ultimate Inline Challenge, presented by Rollerblade. A field of 16 for this special race and some familiar faces. You might remember that Derek Downing won at 100 meters. Now he's going to show off his versatility here. Also, Chad Hendrick, he was the winner of our 10K race, 6.2 miles. He'll be a threat in Last Man Out. Eric, perhaps inline skating's most exciting race.
Well, every time the skaters cross the finish line, the last racer is going to get pulled up. So you're going to see a lot of sprinting in the back of the pack. It's all going to come down to the last 2 skaters in a final sprint for the finish. It should be fast throughout the entire race, Mike.
And no room for complacency.
I know I can't wait to see what happens here.
You can see the skaters really trying to jostle for position. This is a bump and grind, elbow to chest type of race.
Now we saw how teamwork was a part of like the 10-kilometer race. Will they use it here?
Teamwork plays a crucial part part in this race because you can let a teammate in, but you're not going to want to let somebody from another team get in front of you.
Ooh, and that's number 17, Brad Jagle, going down. He is out of the race from Team Kryptonics in a nasty spill, but the race goes on. Now 15 men left.
There's going to be contact throughout this race, and it's up to the referees to decide what they will and will not allow.
And there you see that team formation. That's Team Geo Rollerblade in the lead right now. Eric Para up there, among others.
With the most skaters, they're definitely wise to get them up to the front and control this race. If you spend time in the back, you're going to be doing an awful lot of sprinting.
That position right now belongs to number 19 in the purple and black racing skin. That's Jim Wiederhold.
Sometimes, even though the racer may cross the line last, he tries to slip back into the pack.
He's trying to do just that, but I think he has been full. There he pulls up. He is out of the race. On we go.
The stronger teams, Hyper and Geo Rollerblade, as we expected, moving to the front.
Eric Para with the cast of his left wrist, setting the pace right now.
He's looking back, waiting to see which teammate's going to come up, support him, take over the lead.
Keep your eyes on the back of the pack. And we just lost Chad Bertolowskis, number 32. He is out of the race as our battle royale continues here in Orlando. The beat goes on in our last man out competition. A look at the remaining competitors, and once again team sponsors have just as much at stake as do the individual racers. And right now Team Geo Rollerblade leading the way. That's Derek Para, the point man.
Only the strongest skaters have survived to this point. You can see the teamwork involved. We've got Geo Rollerblade up the front. We've got Hyper 1, 2, 3 behind them. And 2 skaters left from Team Kryptonics. That's Tony Muse and Chris Luxon of Australia. And then on the back, we've got the independent Chad Smith. The 3 of them are on the bubble here, and they're sprinting not to be eliminated. Chad Smith is going to be out on that one.
You see him going to the sidelines. Now it's a 3-team race. Geo Rollerblade, Hyper, and Kryptonics.
The lactate is really starting to build in these skaters' legs, but they've trained long and hard, many hours. This is going to come down to a test of will. Whoa, and you can see some of the physicality there. A bump, but Derek Para regains his composure. You just can't let that physical stuff get to you.
Working hard to get back up into the front of the pack. And that's Kryptonic skater Tony Muse going to the sideline. They only have 1 man left. That's Chris Luxon.
Looks like Chris Luxon could be the next man out. Derek Para with a move on the inside here.
Great shot coming at it. 7 men left in this race that began with 16.
We've got 3 members of Team Geo Rollerblade and 3 from Team Hyper.
This race of attrition, the finale coming up here on the Ultimate Inline Challenge.
Up next, Last Man Out continues. Ultimate Inline Challenge is presented by Rollerblade. No one outskates us. And in part by Casio. The toughest watch is now the brightest. Casio G-Shock Illuminator. And by Pringles, so fresh, once you pop, you can't stop.
7 men left in last man out. And we can change that to 6 men left. Kryptonic's last representative, there he is in the background. That's Chris Luxton. He is gone.
Derek Parra moving to the front. Jonathan Webster, though, latching on. Scott Hyatt says, oh, he's my teammate. I want to be behind him.
And Derek Parra hasn't forgotten how his team was outfoxed in the 10K race. He wants a little revenge.
You see Chad Hedrick swinging to the outside there, coming around, moving to the front. His teammates look awfully tired, though, and that's enough for Jonathan Webster. He stands up and is out of the race.
And now only 5 remain. Hyatt, Botero, and Parra for Geo Rollerblade, Downing and Hedrick for Hyper. And it's Jorge Botero in the lead right now for Geo Rollerblade.
What? Chad Hedrick says what? And he's called out of the race. Looks like he was DQ'd for an infraction. That really changes the scheme of things. That makes Rollerblades 2 skaters to Hyper's 1 skater. Derek Downing left with Parra and Botero.
That's Scott Hyatt going to the sidelines. Derek Downing, the winner of the 100-meter final for men, in the race to stay alive here and last man out.
He knows the only chance he has is to get into the front and try and hang on. He's in between the 2 rollerblade skaters, but Botero, proven to be very strong, goes by him on the inside.
They may use Parra for the block and let Jorge sprint away from Derek Downing, but he's not going easily. This is great, and there it is. Downing, the 3rd man across the finish line, and he's been eliminated. So whoever wins, the champion will come from Geo Rollerblade.
The referee's decision to pull out Chad Hedrick played a huge factor in this race. Pretty much gave it to Geo Rollerblade.
And I'm sure Derek and Jorge don't care who finishes first. In fact, they'll probably come across together.
Once again, this is a great rivalry between the 2 teams, Rollerblade and Hyper. And we have Rollerblade with the victory here.
They get a big hand here at Universal Studios Florida. High five and some liquid refreshment for a job well done. And the race's defining moment, Derek Downing in the lead for Team Hyper, but Derek Parra will block him out, and Jorge Botero will take it home with a victory. Lisa's with the winner.
Derek, that was a Geo Rollerblade against Hyper race at the end there. What happened when Chad got disqualified? How much did that change the race?
It changed it entirely. Whenever you take Chad Hedrick out of a race, or any one of the Hyper guys, it changes the race dramatically. And just it was fortunate for us. I don't know what he got disqualified for, but I didn't see Chad really do anything. Maybe it was when he was behind me or something. I'm not sure, but just was unfortunate for them, and it gave us a good break.
Well, Chad was disqualified for a push, but there was a lot of contact going on in the pack. How did that determine who was the last man out each run?
These corners are really kind of, hairy. The speeds are really fast, so whenever you go in a corner with 10 guys all bunched together, there's a lot of pushing and bumping that goes on. But Rubbing's racing, and you just got to stay on your feet, and try to maneuver out of the pack.
So a punctuation mark on an exciting day of races here at Universal Studios Florida. For Eric Flame, I'm Mike Annley. Thanks for joining us, and so long from Orlando.